You've been calling yourself lazy for years, undisciplined, unmotivated, a procrastinator. You've tried every productivity hack, every to-do list system, every just do it motivational video. And yet, you still procrastinate. Here's what no one tells you. You're not procrastinating because you're lazy. You're procrastinating because your brain is trying to protect you from something it perceives as a threat. Today, we're breaking down the real psychology of procrastination, the actual science behind why you put things off. And once you understand this, everything changes, because you can't fix a problem you don't understand. Let's talk about what procrastination really is.
The misconception, what procrastination isn't. What society tells you, procrastination equals laziness. Procrastination equals poor time management. Procrastination equals lack of willpower. Procrastination equals moral failing. The solution they offer? Just do it. Be more disciplined. Make a schedule and stick to it. Stop being lazy. And when that doesn't work, because it won't, you blame yourself. I guess I'm just not motivated enough. Other people can do this. Why can't I? There's something wrong with me. Here's the truth. Procrastination has nothing to do with laziness and everything to do with emotional regulation. Dr. Tim Pitchell, psychology professor and procrastination researcher. Procrastination is an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem. Translation? You're not avoiding the task because you can't manage your time. You're avoiding the task because of how it makes you feel. The research. Study after study shows procrastinators aren't lazy. In fact, they often work harder than non-procrastinators because they end up doing everything in a panic at the last minute. The difference? Non-procrastinators can tolerate negative emotions, boredom, anxiety, frustration, long enough to start the task. Procrastinators can't, so they avoid the task to avoid the feeling. You're not weak. You're trying to protect yourself from emotional discomfort. The real reason. The psychology explained. What's really happening when you procrastinate? Step 1. You think about the task. Your brain immediately generates an emotional response. Anxiety. What if I fail? Overwhelm. This is too big. Boredom. This is going to be tedious. Self-doubt. I'm not good enough for this. Step 2. Your brain perceives this negative emotion as a threat. Just like your brain would respond to physical danger, it responds to emotional discomfort. Step 3. Your limbic system, emotional brain, takes over. It says, we need to feel better now. Step 4. You seek immediate relief. Scroll social media. Watch YouTube. Clean your room. Snack. Literally anything that isn't the uncomfortable task. Step 5. You feel better. Temporarily. The anxiety goes away. The overwhelm subsides. You feel relief. Step 6. Your brain learns. Oh, avoiding the task made the bad feeling go away. Let's do that again next time. And the cycle reinforces itself. The neuroscience. Your brain has two systems in constant battle. The limbic system, emotional, impulsive, present-focused. Feel good now. Avoid pain now. The prefrontal cortex, rational, future-focused, planning. We should do this task because future us will benefit. When you procrastinate, limbic system wins, because emotions feel more urgent than logic. Dr. Hal Hershfield's research on temporal discounting. Your brain perceives future you as almost a different person. The pain future you will experience, deadline stress, consequences, feels less real than the discomfort present you feels right now. So you choose present relief over future benefit. Every single time. This isn't a character flaw. This is how brains work. The 5 emotional triggers, why you really procrastinate. Now that you understand the mechanism, let's talk about the specific emotions that trigger procrastination. Trigger number 1, fear of failure, the perfectionist. The thought, what if I do this and it's not good enough? The feeling, anxiety, inadequacy, dread. The behavior, avoid starting so you never have to face potential failure. Why it happens. If you never try, you never fail. Your ego stays safe. Your self-image as capable remains intact. The cruel irony. By procrastinating to avoid failure, you guarantee failure. But at least it's failure because I didn't try, not failure because I'm not good enough. Who this affects? Perfectionists, high achievers, people with imposter syndrome, anyone who ties their worth to their performance. Trigger number 2, fear of success, the self-saboteur. The thought,
What if I succeed and then people expect more from me? The feeling, pressure, fear of increased responsibility. The behavior, unconsciously sabotage yourself to stay in your comfort zone. Why it happens. Success changes things. New expectations, new pressure, new identity. Sometimes staying small feels safer than rising to a new level you're not sure you can maintain. Example, you're about to finish a big project that could advance your career. Suddenly, you can't focus. You procrastinate. The project is late or mediocre. Your unconscious mind just protected you from the scary possibility of success. Trigger number 3, task aversion, the overwhelmed. The thought, this is boring, difficult, tedious, too big. The feeling, overwhelm, frustration, boredom. The behavior, avoid the task because it feels unpleasant. Why it happens. Your brain is designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Tedious tasks equals pain. Scrolling TikTok equals pleasure. Your brain will always choose the easier option unless you consciously override it. The overwhelm factor. When a task feels too big, your brain doesn't know where to start, so it chooses, don't start at all. Example, write thesis feels impossible. Write 200 words of introduction feels doable. But if you never break it down, you'll keep avoiding the whole thing. Trigger number 4, lack of self-compassion, the shame spiral. The cycle. You procrastinate. You feel guilty and ashamed. That shame makes you feel worse. You procrastinate more to escape the shame. More guilt, more shame, repeat. Dr. Kristin Neff's research on self-compassion. People who practice self-compassion procrastinate less, not more. Why? Because shame doesn't motivate, it paralyzes. When you beat yourself up, I'm so lazy, I'm such a failure, why can't I just do this? Your brain learns, this task is associated with feeling terrible about myself, avoid it. The cruel truth. The more you shame yourself for procrastinating, the more you'll procrastinate.
Trigger number 5, present bias, the instant gratification. The thought, I'll feel like doing this later. Future me will handle it. The feeling, optimism about future motivation. Spoiler, it won't come. The behavior, choose immediate pleasure over delayed reward. Why it happens. Your brain values immediate rewards way more than future rewards. $100 today feels better than $110 next week, even though rationally you should wait. Same with tasks. Relief now from avoiding the task feels better than success later from completing it. Research shows we consistently overestimate how motivated future us will be. We think, I'll feel more like doing this tomorrow. But tomorrow, you're still you, with the same brain, making the same choice. Here's what all 5 triggers have in common. They're all emotional responses, not logical ones. You can't logic your way out of an emotional problem. That's why just do it doesn't work. Why traditional advice fails. The advice you've tried. Just make a to-do list. You make the list, you still don't do the tasks. Why? The list doesn't address the emotional trigger. Use the Pomodoro technique. Great tool, but if you're paralyzed by fear of failure, no timer will help you start. Just be more disciplined. This is like telling someone with depression to just be happier. It fundamentally misunderstands the problem. Reward yourself after completing tasks. Doesn't work if the emotional barrier to starting is too high. Think about your goals. You know your goals. The problem isn't lack of knowledge, it's emotional regulation. Why this advice fails? Because it treats procrastination as a behavior problem when it's actually an emotion problem. You don't need better productivity systems, you need better emotional regulation tools. The evidence. Dr. Joseph Ferrari, procrastination researcher. 20% of people are chronic procrastinators. For them, the issue isn't time management or organization. It's emotional regulation difficulties, fear-based decision-making, avoidance coping strategies. You can't organize your way out of fear. You can't schedule your way out of shame. What actually works? The real solutions. Now that you understand the real problem, here are solutions that actually address it. Solution number 1. Practice self-compassion, not self-criticism. The research, Dr. Kristin Neff. Students who practiced self-compassion procrastinated less before exams than those who were self-critical. Why? Shame paralyzes. Compassion motivates. Instead of, I'm so lazy, I always do this, I'm a failure. Try, I'm struggling with this task, and that's okay. Many people struggle with this. What do I need right now to move forward? The science. Self-compassion reduces the emotional threat of the task. If you know you won't destroy yourself for struggling, you're more likely to try. Solution number 2. Identify your emotional trigger before you start a task. Ask, what am I actually afraid of here?
Am I afraid it won't be perfect? Fear of failure. Am I afraid of what comes after? Fear of success. Does this feel overwhelming? Task aversion. Am I already feeling guilty? Shame spiral. Am I choosing comfort now over benefit later? Present bias. Once you name the emotion, you can address it. Example: I'm avoiding this because I'm afraid it won't be good enough. Now you know, the issue isn't the task, it's perfectionism. Solution: lower the bar. Aim for done, not perfect. Give yourself permission to make a rough draft. Solution number 3. Use the 5-minute rule correctly. Most people use it wrong. Just do it for 5 minutes and you'll want to continue. The problem: this still requires starting, which is the hard part. Use it right. Don't commit to finishing. Don't even commit to making progress. Just commit to feeling the emotion for 5 minutes. I'm going to sit with the discomfort of this task for 5 minutes. I don't have to accomplish anything. I just have to be present with it. What happens? The emotion is never as bad as you anticipated. You realize you can tolerate it. Often, you'll naturally start the task once you're sitting with it. But even if you don't, you practiced emotional tolerance. That's progress. Solution number 4. Reframe the task. Instead of, I have to write a 20-page paper, overwhelming, triggers avoidance. Try, I'm going to open the document and write 1 sentence. Manageable, lowers emotional barrier. Instead of, I need to do this perfectly, triggers fear of failure. Try, I'm going to do a messy version and improve it later. Removes perfectionism pressure. The goal: make the task emotionally tolerable, not just logistically clear. Solution number 5. Forgive past procrastination. The shame loop. Past procrastination, guilt, more procrastination, more guilt. Break it. I procrastinated in the past. That happened. I understand why now. Moving forward, I'm going to approach this differently. Research shows people who forgave themselves for procrastinating on one exam procrastinated less on the next exam. Why? Because they removed the shame. Without shame, there's no emotional reason to avoid. Solution number 6. Work with your brain, not against it. Your brain wants immediate rewards, emotional safety, avoidance of discomfort. Instead of fighting this, use it. Make the task immediately rewarding. Work in a coffee shop you love. Listen to music that makes you feel good. Do it with a friend. Make the task emotionally safe. Remind yourself, this doesn't define my worth. Lower the stakes. This is just a draft. Give yourself permission to struggle. Make the discomfort tolerable. Break it into tiny steps. Take breaks when needed. Celebrate small progress.
Conclusion: the reframe. The old story. I procrastinate because I'm lazy, undisciplined, and unmotivated. If I just tried harder, I could stop. The new story. I procrastinate because my brain is trying to protect me from emotional discomfort. Once I understand the specific emotion I'm avoiding, I can address it with compassion and strategy. The truth. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're a human being with a human brain that's designed to avoid discomfort. The difference between chronic procrastinators and non-procrastinators isn't discipline. It's emotional regulation skills. And skills can be learned. Your challenge. The next time you catch yourself procrastinating, don't ask, why am I so lazy? Ask, what am I actually feeling right now? What emotion am I trying to avoid? Name the emotion. Sit with it for 5 minutes. See what happens. You might be surprised how often the task becomes doable once you stop running from the feeling. Drop a comment. Which emotional trigger do you recognize in yourself? Subscribe for psychology that helps you understand yourself, not shame yourself. And remember, procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism. And now that you know that, you can change it.